about a month ago. What have you learned about your guys?
Well, I think we've gotten better. We've worked really hard. These guys have had good attitudes each day, and I think we've tried to make the most of each day. The biggest thing for us right now is trying to get 100% healthy. We've been a little banged up. We've had guys miss practices, miss multiple practices, and so trying to get everyone healthy, and then trying to continue to improve each day.
Well, what did you take away from your team, Jeff, from the scrimmage against Dayton over the weekend?
Well, the main thing is that it was good for us to be whole, and we still didn't have everyone, but us competing against someone else, us figuring out substitution patterns, figuring out how, some of the things that we've worked on, how they will work against someone else and against another, quality opponent. And so I was pleased with a lot of things that we did. There are a lot of things that we have to continue to work on and get better with. We're certainly not anywhere close where we need to be, but I think we're progressing in the right direction.
Where do you feel like you have sort of established some areas on the team that you feel are strengths? What do you feel like you guys are going to do well?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure yet. There are things that I hope that we do well, which is play hard and compete and fight every second we're out there, every guy doing that together. Being a team that talks at a high level, that defends at a high level. We have to gain rebound. We don't have a dominant rebounder, so we have to do it together. At times, and maybe a lot of the time, we'll be small. And so we have to, there has to be a toughness about us every time we're out there, and there has to be a togetherness about us every time we're out there. And then we have to fight together, and we have to score together, we have to defend together, we have to rebound together. Those are the things that we hope. And again, I think we've made progress in those areas where some of them are starting to become their habit. That's been the biggest thing, is trying to change habits. When you go through a season like the returning guys went through last year, one of the things that can happen without you even realizing it, you can develop very, very poor habits. And as all of us know, a habit's very hard to change. And it takes, constant discipline day in and day out to change a habit and to create a good habit. And that's what we've tried to spend each day doing.
Jeff, obviously, Thursday night will be kind of different from the scrimmage, and then next Tuesday will be kind of different from Thursday. But, do you have sort of a set five in mind at this point, or even a rotation in mind, just from what you've seen so far?
Not really. Everyone will have an opportunity. But we don't have anything set in stone. I determine that stuff by practice, by who plays well in practice, who performs well, and what groups fit well together.
Who did perform well in that scrimmage?
I don't want to. It's supposed to be secret, so I don't want to really discuss the personal, particular details. But the main thing I'll say is that Pitt did well. We did well. I don't ever want to single out an individual. There were some good things that we did, and there were some things that a lot of things that we have to get better with. But overall, it was a good afternoon for us to play against someone else and to play against another quality team.
That toughness you talked about a minute ago, is that something you have to teach some guys, or is it ingrained in some guys that are on your team?
Yeah, I think some guys it's ingrained. I think some guys you have to teach and you have to demand. Not just teach, but it's also something that you have to demand. And those are some of the habits that you have to try to create.
You had talked during your introductory press conference, Jeff, about how you don't necessarily have a quote-unquote system where you kind of adapt to your personnel. For this team, for this group of guys you have stylistically, what do you think will be this team's identity?
Well, it needs to be toughness. It needs to be toughness and togetherness. That's what it needs to be. A lot of times, we're not a big team, and so a lot of times we could, the other team that we're playing against can be and will be bigger than us, and so we have to figure out how to use quickness, intelligence, togetherness, and toughness to our advantage. and concentrate on the things that we can control. And that's how hard we play and how together we are every second we're out on the court.
Are there any particular things on Thursday that you're going to look for, whether it be team situation type things or things you can't really simulate in practice?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you play against someone else, it gives you an opportunity to do that. You know, I think, knock on wood, as of right now, I would think everyone would be available for Thursday. And so the two guys that have been out, City and Audis, those guys have practiced the past couple of days. Audis today doing some contact for the first time. And so I would think they would be back. And so it gives us an opportunity, really to have everyone and to see how everyone is. And so that will change, some of the rotations up some. I thought one of the things that happened that we haven't done a great job with, even in practice, is we have to limit our turnovers. And practice is supposed to be harder. Like we practice pretty hard, hopefully, A, to get us in great shape, but B, to, you hope the games, not necessarily the competition, but you are disciplined enough and you can think well enough where you can be a little bit mentally stronger. I think having everyone back will hopefully help us with turnovers. I think some of our turnovers in practice and some of our turnovers in general have come from guys being fatigued. And so, just kind of getting a feel for all of those things to see how we are under the lights, with people here. And, not in a closed gym, where there's no one, where there are people in the stands and the lights are on and it's our home court and you get a chance to see how we are then and then to evaluate that and to make the, adjustments we need to make going forward.
Yeah, for the two freshman guards, Xavier and Trey, would you say either one of them has really taken a step up in the competition to be a starting point guard? And what have you really seen from them in the past month?
Well, I think you can see them playing together a lot. I think you can see them on the court together a lot. My hope is to have lineups where there are multiple ball handlers, where it's not just one, where we have multiple guys that can, initiate our offense from a defensive rebound, that, that can push the break and doing things like that. Those two guys, as Audis before, he was injured and couldn't play. Our new guys have done a really good job of adjusting and acclimating themselves, and I think they've been able to do a good job because of the older guys in the program have been accepting, have been demanding, and have embraced those guys and helped them.
What have you seen from Ellison? I'm sure he couldn't wait for the season to start.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably playing with a lot of energy right now.
Yeah, well, he's a high energy guy anyway. He's a really good athlete. He's a guy that competes, and he's a guy I think for us, will be very versatile. He's a guy that can guard multiple positions, and on the offensive end, he can do things from different positions, and that's one of the things we've challenged him with is to be that guy that kind of can move all over the place and that can do a lot of things, defensively and fill a lot of voids for us on the offensive end.
Yeah, we've talked some, Jeff, about the team's relative lack of height and size. I mean, I know positionless basketball is sort of a big term now. I mean, do you feel like this team's going to sort of embody that quality?
Yeah, I think we have to. I think we have to because we, there are some positions, if you go by the traditional sense of the positions that, we just don't have right now. And so, look, the thing that I believe in basketball is that you got to figure out a way to get your five best guys on the court, regardless of position. Now, if it happens to be all five big guys, then you can't do that. But, unfortunately for us, that's not all five big guys. And so we have to figure out a way to do that. And that may be different for each game. The five best guys, that could vary for us throughout the season. I'd love for us to have some separation and, and things like that. But, again, we'll figure that out as we go, and that could be on a game-by-game basis.
Are you one of those coaches who uses the preseason conference poll and stuff like that as motivation for your guys, pointing to where you were picked and stuff like that?
No, not right now. We were picked exactly where we should be picked based on what happened last year. So we don't again, the thing that I've tried to do with our guys is let's control what we can control. We should not need anything for motivation. We should be motivated enough, and we shouldn't have to use things as motivation. We should use the opportunity to represent this program and represent this university and represent this city and to wear that jersey. That should be motivation. And if we have to trick guys into motivating, then there's a problem.
Jeff, how important is the non-conference schedule going to be specifically for this team, just to go into that ACC gauntlet where they didn't win a game last year, but to go and maybe with some confidence if you guys are able to put a good stretch together?
Yeah, it's very important. Each day is important. Every time you get a chance to play and compete, it's important. And certainly this non-conference schedule, for this team is very important. And we need to approach it that way. I think we have. Our preparation needs to be very, very sharp, and our attention to detail needs to be sharp with all the stuff that we do.
Kind of that
Last one.
Yeah, it's kind of that exhibition season time around college basketball, and you see different results. I feel like some fans, probably some media people, maybe overestimate or put too much stock into that. As far as the actual result, when teams are doing different things, you're trying different people. I mean, how much do you actually put into what the final score is going to be on Thursday night?
Well, I put a lot into it. I mean, I think every time you play, you should try to win. And certainly you're looking for different things, but the thing you're looking for is how to win, how to beat someone. At the end of the day, in any competition, that's what it comes down to. Can you beat the other person? I don't care what skill someone has. You can have guys that look great. They look great on a YouTube thing, on a highlight thing, in a practice. But at some point, you have to compete. That's what we do. And so it all comes down to, can you beat that person? And that's what we have to do. That's what we have to learn. We haven't had a lot of success with that. And so that's why all of them are important for us, because we need to learn how to do that. We need to learn how to win and understand that it's not easy. And it's necessary things that you have to do in order to earn the right to do that. And so that's why this exhibition is very important. And when we start up next week, it's important. And for us, for this group, each day is really, really important for us.